Okay, guys, joining us right now on the podcast with Clinton O, we have very special guest, The Rock. Kevin Ross is on with us right now. Kevin, how you doing, buddy? How's it going?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, doing great. Thanks for asking. It's just great to have you on and have a lot of great memories of your playing days, and I want to go back to that. Of course, you come to Kansas City in 1984, man. Hard to believe it's been that long ago, and you spent 9 seasons here the first time around. Talk about coming in here in 1984. This was a different franchise in 84 than it was when you left it, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. When I got there, I knew of Duran and Arch Field. They come from my same area, so I kind of got feedback from them on what I need, how I needed to be prepared for the season, and what to do and what to ask and what not to do. And so it kind of paved the way for me.
Can you talk about your college career at Temple and then your draft day experience, getting the call from the Chiefs and realizing that your dream's coming true? You're going to be in the NFL.
Well, coming out of college, I was more like I really didn't play corner. I played, I guess, kind of like a hero or rover back, they called it. I was a good tackler, but it kept me near the ball, kept me near the line of scrimmage. And then my junior year, because of the shortage of people, I had to go out the corner, and it worked all out for me and everything. I had a real good fundamental teacher in Nick Rapone, who is now the University of Delaware's coordinator. And, it just worked out for me.
And onto the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, in '84. This was a franchise that had not been very good in a long time, and through the mid '80s. And talk about what it was like when Marty Schottenheimer got there in 1989, and how the culture, really changed at that point.
Well, you know what? In '84, I didn't know we were a bad team. I just thought we could win every game. I never approached the game. I never played in the game. I didn't think I could win. And then Schottenheimer comes in, and he tells the team we're not mentally tough enough, we're not physically tough enough, and we got to change the culture. And by changing the culture, we changed some players, and changed our practice habits, the whole snap, and once he got us rolling, it was pretty much hard to beat us in Arrowhead.
Can you talk about playing for Marty Schottenheimer? What kind of coach was he? What kind of relationship did you have with him?
I had a great relationship with him. He was fair. He's honest. He's hard, but he's fair. And that's all you can ask for as a player. He's demanding, and I like that in him. And he didn't take no nonsense. He didn't have no favorites. He didn't care who you were or what you were, all pro, whatever. He treated pretty much everybody the same way.
What were your thoughts when Joe Montana and Marcus Allen come into town?
Super Bowl.
Yep.
Super Bowl. I just thought Super Bowl right now. With the defense that we had, we were loaded. I thought Super Bowl.
And talking about some of those other defensive players, of course, you played with this is the golden era of Kansas City Chiefs defense. You played with Derek Thomas, with so many great players, Neil Smith. There's just so many. Dan Salemuya, Joe Phillips, can go on, Darren Mickle. Hey, just talk about what it was like being part of that defense and on at Arrowhead, and giving teams had no chance to win coming in here with that defense. They just didn't.
Well, you're in a defensive huddle, and you got Neil Smith and you got Derek Thomas on the outside, and they're telling you get to in 2.5 seconds, and they'll get the quarterback on the back. That's something you want to hear as a defensive player. And then, as a defensive back, you're playing with those other guys. You do not want to be, the weak link of that secondary. I just left out of Kansas City last week to see the Chargers in Kansas City. The one thing I was disappointed in, I just didn't see. I don't know. I didn't see pride in performance, I guess I want to call it. I didn't feel like the guys played hard enough. I don't think it had anything to do. A lot of people say it had something. I hear coaching and this, that, and the other. I don't believe in that. I believe that you get paid a certain amount of money to play. I don't need motivation. You got a different color. That's motivation enough for me.
So what do you think it is with today's athletes or this team that is causing them to just say, hey, I'm not going to play?
Well, it's not. Today's athlete is a little different. But then again, the rules have changed. You don't hit it as much as we did in the early 80s and 90s and stuff. You just don't hit as much. And I think that has a lot to do with it. I think they just don't practice enough tackling and don't practice enough hitting, getting for that.
Yeah, and I think
That would be like a boxer to me, not getting hit in the face before he really actually had a fight. How do you know you can take the blow?
Oh, good point there. Good point. And you guys were always known as a mentally and physically tough defense here in Kansas City. And talk about, in 1993 you played, I guess, a year with, and then one more year as you came back in '97. But you played with Will Shields, who you were in town to honor as he goes, into the Chiefs Hall of Fame. Just talk about him and just what a great person, ambassador, and player he was for Kansas City.
Will Shields came in and he didn't hesitate. He displayed his skills. He fit right in. The guys, he worked to get some good guys up front. He didn't say a whole lot. I never really heard him talk to the other night. And he's just a great player, man. He's a better person than he is player. And that's hard to believe, but he's just that kind of guy.
Going back to your playing days, 1993, you guys make the playoffs. Can you kind of go through the playoff stint there with the Steelers, Oilers, and Bills, and what happened in each of those games?
Well, the Oilers, you got to remember, they beat us pretty bad the first time around.
Yeah.
We come back out there, and Montana says, he's going to change some few things there, and we went match protection and threw the ball down the field against them and beat them up pretty good. Buffalo, we had destroyed in the regular season there, and then we lose to them in the championship game. And the Steelers, the Steelers are the Steelers. They're a tough team, but we edged them out again on the strength of Joe Montana on the last play of the game. I think to Terry Barnett.
Yep.
And I mean that was obviously a tough situation going down to Buffalo in the cold, and you lose Joe Montana, and it was a tough.
Well, not only that, we lost. I had a broken thumb. Albert Lewis didn't play. I don't think Ron Cherry played. We didn't have 3 or 4 defenders out there.
Wow, yeah.
At that time.
Yeah, that's detrimental, certainly. And of course, '93 was your last year in Kansas City. You went on to Atlanta and San Diego. But what brought you back in '97? What made you want to come back and play for the Chiefs again after you'd been a couple other places?
Never wanted to leave. I never wanted to leave. Yeah. That was my decision. That's pro football. You start talking numbers, economics, or whatever you want to call it. Never wanted to leave. I mean, I didn't believe in picking up and going somewhere else and this, that, and that. I didn't want to get a chance to meet another coach or anything like that right there. I had enough coaching changes there right there in Kansas City. So I never wanted to leave. It was not my choice. It was just organizational choices. Albert left, I left, Ron retired, and that was pretty much it.
And of course, you had a great career in the NFL, great long career. No arguments there. You go on to coach. Of course, you've been to a couple organizations. Minnesota, San Diego, Oakland. Talk about what it's like being a coach and what you're up to here in 2012.
Well, the coaching part of it shows you the business side of it. I got a different appreciation for coaches and what they go through and how they prepare their players and things like that right there. I still want to be a part of that organization right there in some kind of capacity, be a scout, be a coach, what have you. I don't know. I enjoy football. I like coaching. I like the experience of it, and that's what I like to do right now.
Well, we definitely would love to have you back in Kansas City in some capacity at some point, like you said. And going back to your playing days, you had you had very good stats. I mean, you had almost 40 interceptions in your career. Like, what was what do you think about your game enabled you to just kind of be in the right place at the right time?
Well, I told you, I learned something from everybody that I played with back there. Deron Cherry was the guy who actually could tell you how to study film. Albert Lewis is a great technician. I could not do everything he did because he's 6'3" and I'm 5'9", so I didn't take everything from him. And Louis Burns had a combination of everything. And I just try to learn and listen from all those guys. And then, like I said, when you're playing with guys like that right there, you don't want to let people down. I didn't want to fail because of them. And just try to play as hard as I can and smart as I can.
We lost Derek Thomas in 1998 or 2000, I believe. Where were you, and how did you feel when you heard the news that he had passed?
I was in Jersey back at home, and I felt empty. I felt it was just unbelievable. He put the whole city in shock. His family, friends, players. Derek meant a whole lot to the community. Derek done some things that nobody else in the
and another player we lost, and I hate to always take it to the negative side, but Junior Seau, of course, you played with San Diego, and just talk about him. He was a guy reminded me a lot of Derek in that he was just a tenacious, hard worker, and just talk about, your memories of him as well.
Oh, man, Junior, full energy. I've never seen him depressed or anything like that right there, this is why I was shocked when I heard he committed suicide. Good instincts, worked hard, fun guy to play around, and he's another guy to gauge to his community. They'll never replace him back out there in San Diego for the things he's done.
Oh, no doubt about it. And I mean, and that's kind of another topic. I mean, you played in the NFL, 14 years. The big topic today between the NFLPA and the owners is pensions and stuff like that. How do you feel? I mean, you played as a defensive back for all those years and knocked a lot of heads. I mean, how do you feel about how the players are protected, with regards to injuries later in life?
I don't know if you can protect the players from injury. Honestly, I mean, once you play 1 year in the National Football League, I don't think your body ever be the same. The only thing I would say is that the players probably should have an opportunity to collect their full pension before they get to the age of, 45 or whatever, because if you're doing a study, the NFL does a lot of study on people, and it seems like to me people are checking out now at 50, heart attacks, brain damage, what have you, and those things, are things that you can't do anything about because of the high-speed collisions that you have on the football field.
Can you talk about concussions with all the new information we're getting about maybe it's just the constant hits of the defensive, offensive linemen or players, and what are your thoughts on that? Would you do the same thing?
All I can tell you is this. They tell us that, the hits are like 30-mile-per-hour car crashes. I've been hit by a car 4 times in my lifetime. And those collisions that you have on the field, and I'm talking especially in the 80s when we had, you were soft. You were considered soft if you came out the game. So you would have capsules, ammonia capsules or something in your sock that wake you up or to clear your head or what have you. Most guys played with concussions and didn't know it. Didn't know the damage they were doing to their body. And you're seeing it live in color right now where guys can't stand the sunlight, can't do this and can't do that. The equilibrium's off. The memory is gone and things like that.
Yeah. Do you yourself feel, any lasting damage?
Oh, yeah, of course I do. I mean, I feel, you don't feel like, it depends on the weather a lot of times. The weather can dictate how you feel. You're stiff at times. The memory part, I'm not sure if I'm going through that or not. At times I feel like I am, at times I don't. But, it's football. Would I do it again? Of course. That's what I do. That's what I am. I'm a football player, and I accept what comes along with it.
You kind of answered my question there. I was going to ask if you'd go back and still play football. What do you think about football going forward? Do you think parents will keep their kids from playing it in the future, and maybe it'll go away, or what are your thoughts?
No, it's not going away. There's no way in the world it's going away. They might change some more rules. They might get rid of kickoff or punt or some things like that right there, but I don't see where they're going to get rid of football.
Oh, absolutely not. The same thing's always said about boxing, ban boxing, and you just can't do that. You find ways, like in NASCAR, to make the driver safe. And I think with helmet technology, I think they will eventually clean that up. So, here's hoping on that end. But I'll tell you what, Kevin, we're about out of time here. You've been just incredibly insightful. We cannot thank you for being on today. You've been great, and we appreciate it. We look forward to talking to you again in the future, my man.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Kevin, appreciate it.
Take care,
All
Kevin.
right, take care.